right, continuing our NASCAR Sprint Cup Series media availability here at Martinsville Speedway. We are now joined by Brian Vickers, driver of the number 55 My Classic Garage Toyota. Brian, earlier today, Michael Waltrip Racing announced that you will return in 2013 to share the 55 ride with Michael Waltrip and Mark Martin. So talk a little bit about that and coming here to Martinsville.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, always fun to be back in Martinsville for a lot of reasons. Obviously, it's been my last race this year with NWR. This is where I ran my very first stock car race ever in the Allison Legacy Series. And I have no idea what year that was, but it was awesome, and I really enjoyed it. And, obviously here today to announce and speak of 2013. I know a lot of you have asked questions, and I really appreciate your your curiosity. For me, staying with MWR was a conscious decision to try to be in the best position to win races and to be with the best team I thought I could do that with. And there's a lot of factors that are involved in that, and from the manufacturer to the team to the owner to the sponsors to the crew chief, and just blatant chemistry. Obviously it's more than just building fast race cars, which MWR does. Toyota is delivering great engines right now and a lot of support. But the chemistry I have with Rodney is unprecedented for me in my career. I've never had anything like it. And that's the kind of results that I want to continue having. Now, the obvious question is, well, why is it not full-time? Well, Mark's settled in pretty snug next year. And to be honest with you, sometimes things work out for a reason. I look back to this year and going into 2012, there were some opportunities to go full time, but I made the decision I wanted to be in a car, even if it was for 8 races, that I felt like I could win races with, and a team I wanted to be with long term. It was really more of a long term decision, a short term and long term decision, and I feel like that mission was accomplished. Now, going into next year, I'm kind of in the same boat. It's like, okay, well, there's some opportunities out there that are full-time, but, where do you really want to be? The question I'm asking myself is, where do you really want to be? What's your goal? And how do you get there? And my goal is to win a championship. Now, clearly that's not going to happen next year, with the exception of maybe an owner's championship with Mark and Michael. But to win a driver's championship and an owner's championship, you've got to be with a good team. You've got to have the chemistry. You've got to be with a good manufacturer. And I feel like I found that with Toyota, with MWR, and everyone on board, with Aaron's, with Rodney, and all the guys in the whole team. I wish I could list all of them, but the management, everything. So obviously it's going to be 9 races again next year. Far short of what I would like to have, but I'm as excited about those 9 races as I've ever been excited about any race in my career. So, and that's what was important to me, was to know that even in those 9, showing up at the racetrack every week, feeling like I had a shot to win the race. And that's why I made the decision I did. I'm very, very thankful and very happy for the opportunity that MWR, Michael, and Rob, and everyone on the team have given me this year and again next year. And honestly, I know a lot of you are like, wait a second, you can race full time, and you chose. Trust me, I'm excited about it. I made a conscious decision to do it 2 years in a row. I can assure you, I'm enthused about it. So.
All right, let's start with Monty. Go ahead, Monty.
Monty Dutton, Gaston Gazette. Brian, the only thing if you're going to run 9 races, if I were in your shoes, have you got an assurance beyond that? Are you in the wings for when that is a full-time ride?
Well, it's a great question. In the wings, yes. I don't think I can be any closer to the wing. Being in the car this year, being in the car next year, and running well. There's no contractual obligation in 2014, but that's my goal, and that's their goal. So that's what we're working towards. Right now we've got a couple things on our task list. Run good. We've got 9 races next year. 3 are with Aaron's, and 6 are unsold. We got to sell those 6 races, and part of doing that is going to be performing. And then in 2014, we've got to sell all of them, and that's what we need to do to make that happen. And then obviously just run good.
All right, go ahead.
Mike Neff from FrontStretch.com. Brian, you got 9 weekends booked. There's another 31 or so that happen during a regular NASCAR season. Do you have any irons in the fire of any other kind of rides that you're going to step in and fill in at this time, or are you focused on those 9 for right now?
Yeah, I mean, right now my focus is on those 9, but obviously, if listen, as part of filling those 6 races, someone steps up to the plate and wants to do, 15 or 20. I mean, I'm sure Michael and Rob's not going to tell them no. We'll figure out a way to make it happen. I mean, our focus is those 9 races and trying to win an owner's championship for the 55 car next year with Mark Martin and Michael. But I don't want to speak on behalf of the team, but I'm sure if a sponsor said, "Well, I really want 15," no, you can only have 6. I'm sure we'll figure it out. But yeah, I mean that. I tell you, I really found a home at Toyota, and I want to stay there. That's kind of where my focus is now. If there was another opportunity at another Toyota team, I wouldn't rule that out. I definitely wouldn't rule that possibility out. I want to be in a car as much as possible. And, I think this year was a prime example of that. Now, it wasn't always in this garage, but I was in a car a lot. I've probably been behind the wheel of a car as much this year as I have in my career. It's just half of it's been in Europe and half of it's been here in America. And I've had a lot of fun doing it. I mean, I haven't run full-time this year, but actually I have run full-time, just not in the same series. And I don't want anyone to feel sorry for me because I've had a blast. I feel like I've been very blessed to have the opportunity to race all over the world at some of the most amazing tracks in history, and still come home to NASCAR and perform.
All right, let's go to David Newton and then Bob Parkers. Go ahead, David.
Yeah, Brian, David Newton, ESPN.com. Have you twisted Mark's arm and made him guarantee he's going to step out of the car after next year?
Yeah, good luck with that.
And secondly, where do things stand with JGR and driving maybe a full nationwide season?
Yeah, no, 2 good questions. There's no guarantees of Mark. I don't think he'll ever retire. And my focus is I'm obviously really happy, with the team I'm at in MWR and Toyota. There's only 3 cars there. So I don't know what Mark's plans are. My job is not to get Mark out of the car. My job is just to get in a car. And nothing would make me happier than to continue to have Mark Martin as a teammate in some form, fashion, or another. Bring his experience and his generosity and as a mentor this year has been tremendous for me, and I feel like long-term for my career. And I can't thank Mark enough for that. He's really the glue that's kind of built this team. And I'm trying to learn from that experience. And I think he's only going to make the team better next year. And, what role Mark has at MWR after that, that's between Mark and those guys. But there's plenty of room. It's not a full house yet. So. And as far as JGR, yeah, I mean, I'm exploring all opportunities to race as much as I can next year. And, as soon as what those opportunities start to shape up, what they look like, I'm sure you guys will be the first to know.
So to Bob. Go ahead, Bob.
Bob Packer, Sporting News. That was kind of my question. I mean, are you looking beyond nationwide as far as, are you going to run other road course stuff and other stuff to fill in the weeks if you don't have anything?
No, absolutely. I could go down. I mean, basically, I have a list of wants, and then I have a list of done. And right now, the done is 9 races at MWR. 3 with errands and 6 we got to figure out. We got to sell them. And then there's the wants. Let's see. Pretty much anything else that races fast. Sports cars are welcome. Indy cars are welcome. Europe, America, nationwide truck. You name it. I'm open-minded to anything. I want to race, and ideally my number 1 criteria is to be in a winning car. And wherever, whatever it is, that's my goal. But for right now, it's I know I've got 9 races with MWR, and I'm really excited about them.
All right, go ahead.
Brian, Damian Sordelet, Danville, Register MB. You were talking earlier in your opening statement about how you wanted to be in a car that has the capability of winning, and that is more of a factor to you than racing in a week in, week out where you might be running back of the pack or starting park. How much did that weigh in your decision that it might be partial, but you can go run up front and that could attract people along the way to see how well you're running in top flight equipment?
No, all of the above, yes. I mean, I feel very fortunate to have, had this opportunity to come along this year. And, my focus going in, and I've I took a chance by running, part-time with a great team as opposed to full-time, maybe not and running quite as well. And I feel like it's paid off. And I'd love to be in the situation I'm in now full time next year, but I'm also very thankful to be in it at all. To even have the opportunity at all, and very thankful for those 9 races. And I feel like those 9 races, if we can have the success we had this year, maybe plus a little bit more, we were very pleased, with this year, but not satisfied. Obviously, we'd love to sit on a pole, we'd love to win a race, and we got one more chance to do it. But I think that performance is going to pay dividends in the long run.
Okay, I believe we have a question in the back. Go ahead.
Yeah, Barry Richmond, Piedmont Broadcasting Corporation. You mentioned about running in other series, certainly staying in NASCAR in various divisions. How has running NASCAR helped you in other series, or has that worked out vice versa?
Great question. I feel like it's actually worked out both ways. I think that my racing experience as a whole throughout my career, particularly NASCAR experience, has helped out a lot in sports cars and other racing. And I think some of the things I've learned, overseas and in the sports cars field has helped out here. Obviously the first thing you'd point to is the road courses, but I think it's more than just that. It's just all those little things you pick up along the way, racing with other drivers, racing in other series, racing in so many different cars. And, and then reverse is true, racing big, heavy stock cars with no traction control and a tremendous amount of torque and horsepower, I think helps in those cars. Almost always I run less traction control than any of my peers in those cars, and I get more power out of the engine for doing it because I've never had traction control. And, so for me, it's like, even on a 1 to 12 click setting, a 1 is still like amazing. And, more than I would normally need or want. So yeah, I mean, there's definitely things that have helped me over there that I learned from racing in this series.
All right, let's go to Kenny and then Nate.
Kenny Bruce. Brian, you've tested the 2013 car. I wonder if you could, what have your impressions of it been? Basically, just where do you think it's at right now? What do you look for when it finally makes it on the track next year? What do you expect out of it?
Good question. I've done 2 tests now with the 2013 car, and 2 very different places. Obviously, the first test was at Talladega. I thought the Talladega test went really well. I mean, kind of out of the box. I figured we were going to have to make more adjustments and changes. We tried a few things, and NASCAR has not settled in on a design. I mean, I think the body and in theory and principle, most of it's kind of set, but they're still playing around with a lot of the aerodynamics of the car and the wing, the spoiler, and just so many things. So I also want to be cautious not to say too much about it because it's not done yet. It's like walking into an art studio in the middle of a painting, like halfway through a painting, and start judging it. It's not done. I will tell you that the testing we did at Talladega I thought went really well. The car drafted really well, raced really well, and even with 7 cars on the racetrack, we put on one heck of a show. At least I thought so. And and it solved a lot of the things I think that the fans have critiqued about the current racing at those tracks. And then we went to Kansas, and I thought that test went well from the standpoint of we started off not where we wanted to be. It was kind of it was tough in traffic, and the car was really loose in. But I applaud NASCAR and all the teams for getting together and trying to, okay, how can we solve this? How can we make this car the most raceable car we've ever had? And by the end of a 2-day test, we accomplished it. I mean, I was racing around all the guys in traffic. I was racing the 2012 cars, felt comfortable, felt better behind them. All in all, I thought it was a gain. And understand too, multiply that by the fact that, a lot of the design of the car is with the intent to maybe make some changes to the tires to, again, just multiply that effect to make the racing better and better and better, which we have, we're still racing on 2012 tires, or tires built for the 2012 car and not for the 2013 car. So I think it's only going to keep getting better. Not so much that the starting product was perfect, but that there's a lot of really good people working on making it better, and NASCAR has been very open-minded to that and an integral part of that process. I do. I have at least one more test scheduled with the 2013 car, maybe more. So we'll see.
Go ahead, Nate.
Nate Ryan, USA Today. Brian, did you have any full-time offers to race Sprint Cup, and were you looking very hard, or did you pretty much see, looking at the landscape, that this might be the best opportunity?
I did. I had some other opportunities, and I'm very thankful to have to been presented with those. But I just felt like this is where I wanted to be. I've looked for a home for a long time in NASCAR, and I felt like I found it.
All right. Any additional questions for Brian? All right. We'll go right here with our last question.
Mike Muller.net. You're an old Red Bull guy. When you saw Felix up there, 24 miles up, were you thinking, man, that's something I really want to do? You've done some free falling, haven't you?
Yeah, I was super jealous, except for when he went into that flat spin. I was like, okay, that was the part of the jump I would not be happy with. I think even he was something about anytime you get into a spin like that, skydiving is never a good thing. And I'm sure it's not any better at 835 miles an hour. I just applaud that entire team. I mean, the Stratosphere team, and the guy that taught me. I've done some stuff with Felix, great guy. Luke Akins, the guy that taught me how to jump, and I still jump with to this. I actually jumped with his sister 2 days ago, and I did a few jumps for my birthday, which was a lot of fun, and went really well. And I was actually going up the plane. I was thinking, wow, this seems high. But then I think to myself, I guess it's not so high anymore. After he jumps from there. So, but yeah, just congratulations to those guys. That was a huge feat on Red Bull's part, NASA's part. It was, and it took a lot of good people. And, as an American, I was proud of NASA's part of it. I think a lot of the coverage and the credit went to them, but a lot of it, NASA played a huge role in that. And, I know that was only one step for some other things they have in mind later down the road. So.
All right. Congratulations again, and good luck this weekend.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks, everyone.